Ako po si Trixie Elie, nakatira sa Batasan Island.
My name is Trixie Elie, a fisher and climate change activist from Batasan Island. We contribute very little to climate change, but we bear all the consequences. Our ancestors have a term for when the ocean becomes warmer, dunluk. I only recently learned that it's an effect of climate change and it's killing the corals underwater.
Parang nasisira yung mga corals siguro. Minsan isang araw na lang kami.
There are days when we'd only have one meal. Because of how little my husband catches, sometimes it'll only be worth $3. How is that enough for a family of 4?
Dapat kayong kakain. Malaking kaibahan.
The turning point was Typhoon Odette in 2021. Since then, our lives have never been the same. Our homes were destroyed. We were left with nothing.
Nung nagka-Odette, parang gano'n na, parang...
And that was when I really understood the effects of climate change, because you never truly do until disaster hits you at your doorstep. But we had already been experiencing some flooding after the earthquake in 2013. It would reach our kitchen sometimes.
So lumala po siya after nung bagyo.
But after the typhoon, the water would creep into every part of our house. One time, before we renovated and elevated the floor, and while we were sleeping, I thought my son wet his bed.
Natutulog kami sa gabi, akala ko umihi.
When I opened my eyes, our home was practically a sea. And every year since then, the water seems to be getting higher.
Naging palala ng palala po, parang year by year.
But this is our home. We can't afford to leave. And I survived Typhoon Odette. That was a miracle. I've been given another life, so I feel like I have a purpose, a mission. And maybe that's to represent our island and campaigning with Greenpeace.
Magka-unite tayo na manawagan na.
My goal is for coastal communities to unite in calling out companies that produce fossil fuels and pollute the environment. Let's demand they stop. Because while they're making billions, we, who are in the front lines of climate change, are the ones who keep suffering.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.